After Abu Ibrahim Ismail ibn Ahmad Samani, his son Ahmad Samani took power. During his reign, he faced challenges, including rebellions in Sistan and Baluchistan. Ahmad defeated the Safavids but was assassinated by his slaves. His son Nasser succeeded him, followed by Nasser's son Noah, then Noah's son Abd al-Malik I, his uncle Mansa, Mansa's son Noah II, and finally, Mansa's son Abd al-Malik II. The Samanid dynasty ended after Abd al-Malik II's reign. After Abu Ibrahim Ismail ibn Ahmad Samani died, without any dispute or conflict over succession arising, his son Ahmad became his successor. This was because Amir Ismail Samani himself had instructed that Ahmad should succeed to the throne after his death. Ahmad ibn Ismail was crowned in Samarkand and became the third ruler of the Samanid dynasty. During Ahmad's reign, he was contemporaneous with the Abbasid Caliph al-Muqtafi. Al-Muqtafi confirmed Ahmad's rule in Baghdad, and the good relationship between the Samanids and the Abbasids continued to exist. Upon Ahmad's ascension to the throne, he faced several significant challenges. The first of these was the rebellion of his uncle, namely Ishaq. Amir Ismail had empowered Ishaq himself because he was one of his brothers and had placed great trust in him. However, as soon as Amir Ismail passed away, Ishaq rebelled in Samarkand. The second challenge came from an individual named Bugh al-Kabir. This person, who was associated with the region of Jurjan, or present-day Gorgan, had ties to the time of Amir Ismail Samani. It was planned for him to transport several shipments of goods from Gorgan and Ray to Samarkand. However, as soon as Amir Ismail Samani passed away, he also rebelled. For this reason, these two individuals posed a significant threat to Ahmad's rule at the beginning of his reign. Before Ahmad departed for Gorgan, he summoned his uncle and sent him to Bukhara, where he imprisoned him for a while. After a period during which conditions stabilized and Ahmad was able to establish control, he released his uncle once again and sent him back to Samarkand. Ahmad then mobilized a powerful army and headed towards Gorgan with the goal of capturing Bugh al-Kabir. Ahmad's forces managed to capture Gorgan, but Bugh al-Kabir retreated and moved towards Ray. Ahmad's forces followed him to Ray and also conquered that city. Bugh al-Kabir once again escaped, this time heading to Baghdad. With the substantial resources, of wealth, he had gained from Ray and Gorgan, Bugh al-Kabir remained beyond Ahmad Samani's reach. However, during these pursuits and escapes, Ahmad was able to expand the Samanid territory to include Gorgan and Ray. Bugh al-Kabir sought refuge with the Abbasid Caliph al-Muqtafi and provided a significant amount of wealth to the Abbasid Caliphate, securing protection and safety in return. These riches never entered the Samanid treasury. Another significant event during the reign of Ahmad ibn Ismail was a military campaign against Sistan and Baluchistan. Many members of the Safavid dynasty, descendants of Yaqub ibn al-Layth al-Safar, held power in Sistan and Baluchistan. Al-Mu'adil ibn Ali ibn al-Layth, who was a nephew of Yaqub al-Layth al-Safar, rebelled and sought to engage in a war against the Abbasid Caliphate. The Abbasid caliphs maintained their rule by sowing discord among the Iranian dynasties. During the same period when Ahmad was planning a military campaign against Sistan and Baluchistan, the Abbasid caliph was a figure named Al-Muqtadir Bela. Al-Muqtadir Bela, following the pattern of other Abbasid caliphs, pursued a policy of fomenting discord. He knew that Sistan and Baluchistan was an adversary, and the best course of action was to incite Ahmad Samani against the Safavids. Al-Muqtadir Bela wrote a letter to Ahmad Samani, saying, "Sistan and Baluchistan belongs to you, but Mu'adil, the nephew of Yaqub, has rebelled there. You should march there. If you can take it, you can make it your own kingdom. Ahmad Samani dispatched one of his brave commanders, Ali ibn Hussein Mavrudi, to Sistan and Baluchistan with the aim of taking control of that region. Ali ibn Hussein Mavrudi engaged in a war against the Safarid dynasty, and, ultimately, the Samanids emerged victorious, incorporating Sistan and Baluchistan into their territory. Many Samanid officials were stationed in the area, consolidating their power there. However, this was not the end of the Samanids' involvement in Sistan and Baluchistan. After a period, this place once again plunged into turmoil. The people of Sistan and Baluchistan were dissatisfied with the Samanid officials who were treating them unjustly, leading to tensions between the locals and the Samanid authorities. Eventually, an elderly man from Sistan and Baluchistan began a rebellion. Interestingly, this elderly man himself was from the Samanid dynasty but was working in Sistan and Baluchistan. He was a hard-working individual, and when he sought justice and his rights, he was ridiculed and told that he had grown old and should rest and there is no need for him to work. This elderly man became very frustrated and wrote several complaint letters, but these letters did not lead to any resolution. For this reason, he turned to the Safarid dynasty and convinced them to rebel once again. They went to a region in Sistan and Baluchistan where there were more dissenters, and these individuals gathered together, sparking widespread protests. These protests grew to such an extent that they ousted the Samanid ruler from power and elevated a descendant of Yaqub al-Layth al-Safar to authority. Sistan and Baluchistan slipped out of the control of the Samanids, and when the news reached Ahmad Samani, he became extremely angry and ordered his military commander to once again march into Sistan and Baluchistan. Ali ibn Hussein entered Sistan and Baluchistan and managed to suppress the disturbances in the region within a few days. All the leaders of this turmoil, including the elderly man from the Samanid dynasty and the Safarid dynasty leaders, were apprehended. All of these leaders requested amnesty from Ahmad Samani, and he pardoned them all. None of these individuals were executed. Overall, Ahmad, like his father, is remembered for his benevolence, often seeking to resolve issues through dialogue and only resorting to military action when necessary. Ahmad showed particular flexibility in dealing with the Safarids. He understood that the Safarids and the Samanids both belonged to the same dynasty and should not engage in extensive conflict with each other. Ali ibn Hussein, who had shown his loyalty several times, believed that Ahmad Samani would unquestionably appoint him as the ruler of Sistan and Baluchistan. However, Ahmad Samani did not take this action and instead appointed someone named Simjor as the ruler of Sistan and Baluchistan. This decision fueled animosity and bitterness between Ahmad Samani and Ali ibn Hussein. Ahmad Samani ruled for about 6 years and a few months, but tragically, he was assassinated at a very young age. Ahmad had a strong passion for hunting and often went hunting with his companions to Nakjir, where they spent some time. On one of these days, while he was out for recreation, a messenger approached him with devastating news. The messenger told him that Tabaristan had revolted and was no longer under the Samanid control. Ahmad Samani raised his hands to the sky and exclaimed, "O God, if it is destined that my kingdom should be lost, I ask that you take my life before, so that I do not leave this world in disgrace." That very night, 4 of his slaves entered his tent and assassinated Ahmad Samani by slitting his throat. The specific motivations and circumstances behind his assassination may not be well documented, but it's possible that various factors, including political rivalries, personal grievances, or concerns about his leadership, played a role in this tragic event. The man named Abu al-Hasan Dakan, who was one of the high-ranking officials of the Samanid government, had the responsibility of overseeing economic transactions. However, he was extremely corrupt, consistently accepting bribes and fostering corruption in the Samanid court. For this reason, he had been accused by Ahmad Samani several times, and Ahmad Samani had warned him that if he engaged in such corrupt activities again, he would undoubtedly face punishment. Abul Hasan Khan, however, paid no heed to these warnings and continued with his illicit actions. On the other hand, he feared that Ahmad Samani would find out about this matter again. For this reason, he bribed 4 of Ahmad Samani's close slaves and assigned them a mission to assassinate Ahmad Samani at an opportune moment. These individuals carried out this task and assassinated the king. 2 of the slaves were apprehended shortly afterward, and they revealed Abul Hasan Khan's involvement. After some time, the remaining 2 slaves were also captured within the borders of the Samanid territory. Subsequently, all 5 individuals were taken to Bukhara and hanged as punishment. After the assassination of Emir Ahmad Samani, his 80-year-old son Nasser came to power with the support of the nobles. His full name was Emir Sayyid Abul Hasan Nasser ibn Ahmad ibn Ismail Samani. When he ascended to the throne, he was given the title Sayyid, and the administration of the state was entrusted to his wise vizier, Abu Abdallah Muhammad ibn Ahmad Jahani. When Sayyid assumed power, he faced similar challenges to those his father had encountered, including internal conflicts. Once again, Ishaq was the cause of these conflicts. Ishaq regained control of Samarkand, and his son, Abu Saleh Mansur, took control of Nishapur. Revolts and uprisings also erupted in Khorasan, but the Samanid commanders were dispatched to these regions and managed to regain control. However, after Ali ibn Hussein managed to take control of Khorasan, he himself initiated a rebellion. Additionally, during that period, the Ismaili Shia, who were under the influence of the Fatimid caliphs in Egypt, had greatly expanded their presence in Khorasan. The Ismaili Shia had grown to such an extent that Emir Nasser Samani converted to Ismaili Shia Islam, and all the uprisings, whether in Samarkand or Nishapur, as well as Ali ibn Hussein's rebellion, were suppressed. The expansion and influence of the Ismaili Shia sect indeed stirred resentment among the Sunni Turkic individuals in the Samanid court. In the article related to Emir Ismail Samani, it was mentioned how these Turkic individuals managed to infiltrate the Samanid court, rising from servitude to positions of military leadership and command. However, these Turkic individuals did not have much influence during the reign of Emir Nasser Samani, primarily because he was getting older and suffering from tuberculosis, and his time on the throne was limited. It was during Emir Nasser's reign that the Persian poet and literary figure Rudaki emerged. Emir Nasser Samani ruled for 31 years, and when he passed away, his son, Noah, succeeded him. Noah was only 9 years old at the time and lacked the necessary qualifications for ruling. Additionally, the vizier in his court was more of a religious scholar and had limited interest in governing state affairs. During Noah's reign, turmoil escalated, and the Samanid borders became increasingly insecure. Many believe that it was during Noah's era that the countdown to the decline of the Samanids began. One of the individuals who initially rebelled against the Samanids was a powerful and influential figure named Abu Ali Chagani. He held the position of the overall commander of Khorasan's army and also ruled over Nishapur. He initiated a significant rebellion, but it was eventually suppressed by the Samanid commanders. Abu Ali went into exile for a period but later sought refuge to Emir Noah Samani. They developed a close relationship and even fought together in several joint military campaigns, building a strong bond. However, when Noah passed away, Abu Ali Chagani once again rose in rebellion. Amir Noah ruled for 12 years, and after his reign, his 10-year-old son, Abd al-Malik I, ascended to the throne. During Abd al-Malik I's reign, Abu Ali Chagani rebelled again, but this rebellion was crushed by the valiant Samanid commander, Abu Sa'id. However, Abu Sa'id did not enjoy good relations with the Turkic commanders. A conspiracy was hatched, leading to the assassination of Abu Sa'id. Subsequently, power shifted to Alp-Tagin, who was one of the Turkic slaves but had proven his competence and rose to become the chief military commander in the Samanid court. Abd al-Malik I met a tragic end when he fell from his horse while playing polo and lost his life. His uncle, Mansur, then ascended to power. During Mansur's reign, Alp-Tagin went to Ghazni, declared himself a ruler, and established an independent state. This marked the beginning of the Ghaznavid dynasty. Initially, the Ghaznavids were vassals of the Samanids but later broke away to form their own powerful kingdom. After Mansur, his son Noah II came to power. However, Noah II lacked the necessary capabilities to defend his realm. During his reign, Turkic uprisings in northern Khorasan began, and the Samanid army couldn't protect its territories. Consequently, Noah II sought the assistance of Sebuk-Tagin. Sebuk-Tagin, who was the son-in-law of Alp-Tagin and had established his rule in Ghazni, gathered a powerful army and marched towards northern Khorasan. He successfully suppressed the uprisings, further strengthening the Ghaznavid authority. In this reversed scenario, the Samanids were under the banner of the Ghaznavids, and Sebuk-Tagin had significant power. After Noah II, his son Mansur II ascended to power. However, Mansur II had a weak and indecisive rule and lacked the strength needed to confront their enemies. During Mansur II's reign, Mahmud of Ghazni rose to power. Mahmud of Ghazni was the son of Sebuk-Tagin, and by the time he came to power, the Samanid influence and authority had waned significantly. Mansur II couldn't overcome the situation in advance. Even his wise minister, Abu Abdallah Muhammad ibn Ahmad Jayhani, was elderly at the time and couldn't rescue the government. Mansur II was captured by two of his Turkic commanders, named Baktuzan and Forig. They blinded Mansur II, removed him from the throne, and replaced him with his son Abd al-Malik II. When Sultan Mahmud heard of this, he became extremely furious and marched with a powerful army toward the Samanid headquarters. On the surface, it appeared that he intended to take revenge on the Samanids for these two individuals, but in reality, he had his eyes on the gains of the Khorasan government. He engaged in a conflict with the forces of Baktuzan and Forig, and with all his might, he defeated their forces. In the continuation of the story, all the Samanid princes and claimants to the Samanid government were arrested and thrown into prison. There was no one left from the Samanid government. The only event that occurred during the reign of Mansur II was the emergence of the great scholar Abu Ali Sina, Avicenna. With the capture of the Samanid princes, this 100-year-old dynasty came to an end and merged into history. However, the Samanid era had a significant role in the growth of Persian philosophy, poetry, and literature. During this era, prominent figures such as Abu Bakr al-Razi, the discoverer of alcohol, Abu Ali Sina, a great physician and scientist, Rudaki, the father of Persian poetry, and also, Daqiqi and Abul Qasim Ferdowsi Tusi, made significant contributions. If you enjoyed this video, do not forget to like it, and share it with your friends. Do not hesitate to provide your view regarding this video by putting your comments below. Your comments would help us to improve our work, and also, They help us to take your views into account for the future topics that we select. Furthermore, you can subscribe to our channel to become aware of our new videos.